Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here at Sandbox, see what's going on, of course. Got a lot of requests from this as far as, just what's going on, why is it taking off here today, and why are we seeing 7 days of continuation of the upside? That's pretty awesome. Obviously, Bitcoin has increased roughly similar as far as, bottom to top, but it's had a tumultuous up and down type of pattern, whereas Sandbox is just continuously progressing higher. So how much longer will this continue, and just generally what does that look like? So big picture, I'm not a financial advisor, just know that I love teaching people to trade. I hope you can learn something here today. My goal and my passion is to become a better trader with you. We hopefully help you become a better trader essentially. So we all learn and grow together. I have a trading community. CryptoCache.tech is a website, link in the description below if you want to become part of that. We have over 200 active members right now, and a lot of people are coming there to help learn from my trading academy, as well as my signals that I send. We've been taking a lot of profits here recently. We took some off of Rune, but I really wish we'd taken some profits off of Sandbox. So this is taken off. This is awesome. So let's take a look here. First of all, we're above the 50-day set moving average. We're testing it right now. That's a big deal. That oftentimes works concurrent with descending trend lines. So if you kind of see here, we got this descending type of trend from its highest point, and the price action really is working fairly synonymous with that. Now, I know this isn't the best example, but to give you an idea or perspective, that's kind of the concept there, is that the 50-day SMA commonly works as a descending or ascending type of support or resistance level. Okay, so now that we're testing that, that's a very good sign, but I would say wait for the one-day candlestick to close before we get any true confirmation we're above that, but that's a very positive sign. Same with being up over the 20-day set moving average. We're over 50 on the RSI, and we have a MACD convergence a couple of days ago, actually 4 days ago, of course, and it's still continuing higher. So, how much higher can this go? Well, let's go ahead and take a look and see if there's any support and resistance levels we've broken through recently. As we look in the past here, we can kind of see there's a resistance shelf there, right here at about, 105? And we can see roughly as well, the price kind of came down and hung out right there at about the 110 mark. So 110, 105 right in that range is considered to be a resistance level. We can see we broke past that through here today. That's probably why we're seeing such progress as well, pushing really high. Now keep in mind, there could very well be a fundamental catalyst because other coins like Mana, Engine, even GMT, if I'm not mistaken, they're all having very similar patterns right now. Okay, they're all just spiked up in the last few minutes, and it's just one of those things that you'll see kind of synonymous in certain industries. In this case, gaming. So there's probably some type of fundamental catalyst. Make sure you do your own research. But in that sense, technical analysis still helps us understand roughly where we're at and where we're going to see some turbulence. Keep in mind, we have a pretty strong resistance level here at about 140 based on Fibonacci, also 150 as well. If you kind of look at these candle wick ups here, we can see there's about 4 candle wicks that the price got rejected, actually 5 times at that level of 150. Okay, so 140 to 150 is a strong little resistance channel, so just expect the price to possibly reject out there if it goes much higher. I would recommend considering taking some profits depending on where you got in, of course, because you're probably up 20-30% by now. Never hurts to take some profits and leave some skin in the game. Okay, that's usually what we commonly do. I typically like to take 60%, upwards of 80% in my first target, and I have 3 to 5 targets at any given time. Those are all things I send out in my signals through my community, of course, but generally speaking, this is just something you want to try to get used to doing. It's a good habit to take profits while you can, because there's nothing worse than feeling like you're on top of the world, and then tomorrow you wake up and all your profits are gone, right? You never know, no guarantees, of course, and depends on your overall perspective too. If you're looking at long-term investment in Sandbox, then it's a different story. You wouldn't necessarily want to do that. Okay. Either way, taking a look here on the 4-hour. This is great news. We also see how the price action got rejected for about 2 4-hour candlesticks, maybe 8 to 16 hours roughly, and the price broke through very hard to break that resistance level. Okay, so a very strong break through the 200. That's a fantastic sign. We're up over 70. I don't love this, so just keep in mind, with us being up over 70, that could work as a resistance level, or correction, a support level now. So the price were to come back down, that's a case in point where we might actually see it continue higher, establishing higher highs and higher lows still. So the likelihood of that happening is quite high at this point based on its overall momentum. But we do need to understand, though, that we are well past overtime here, well into overtime, however you look at it, because the price should have consolidated and went sideways here at 105, or possibly even came down to make a higher low, but it didn't. It continued higher and keeps going higher. So just keep in mind, we could be very close to the relative top for now. 130 probably isn't the top. I'd say 140 to 150 will be in this little push. But just know what goes up must come down, and the likelihood of it retracing a little bit is fairly high in that sense, just generally speaking from a technical standpoint. But once again, if it were to retrace, we'll probably see support somewhere in the 105 to 110 range. All right, so that's generally what we're looking at there. Taking a look here, of course, at the MACD. Didn't really converge or do anything. It's just continuing to progress upwards. So not much to really note there, except for the fact that we are overextended, and that's something to try to be mindful of. Keep in mind this overextension could continue higher though, because we did get a reset down to a 5, and we're up to a 3 now. So hypothetically, we could see 6 to 10 hours more of continuation to the upside to retest that level of 150. I feel like it's more likely to do that than not, but just know in the overall sense of things, this coin is outperforming a lot of other coins right now, especially Bitcoin, which is important to recognize, but also it's important to know that what goes up must come down, and profits are going to be taken eventually. If we take a look at the volume, of course, a strong increase in volume, but that extra volume up here with this larger candle wick does imply there's some selling pressure right in the 130 range. Okay, so it could be that 130 to 150 little resistance zone that we're traveling into that's causing this, but again, it's generally what we're looking at here. So I'm not telling you right now to add to your position per se or to take a position, but if you have one open, you might want to leave it open because it could run. But also keep in mind too, we got all green lights on every single indicator here. So minus the fact that it's overextended, we should experience the price action increasing from here. How much longer will that happen? I mean, we got to have some type of correction, right? Anytime you see a price action behaving the way that it does, it's usually followed by something like this. Okay. Now, not to say it won't still continue to progress higher from there, but I think it is likely that we might see a price action kind of move sideways. There's another thing too called 3 white soldiers that we could be seeing here on the hourly. I prefer to see that on the daily, but generally speaking, you can see these 3 strong hourly candles. The 4th candle is typically red, okay? And you can see that's kind of a common characteristic. You see that, there's 1, 2, 3, and then red, 1, 2, 3, and then red. So just something to kind of think about. I think we could see a pullback here, but once again, if it were to, 110 should be the lowest, whereas 150 is the resistance. That's essentially what we're looking at here. So Sandbox is looking good. I do think continuation is likely. Just note we're facing a strong resistance channel there based on volume. There's a tremendous amount of volume right there at the price point of 130 to 140. So just be mindful that it could turn around momentarily until it recovers a little bit. Also helps that Bitcoin stays consistent. So if Bitcoin can continue to go kind of sideways as it has been recently, then a lot of coins like this are going to continue to take off. And I'm not saying that we are in altcoin season, but we're seeing a lot of Bitcoin dominance, or at least the Bitcoin dominance coming down and alts going up. And that's a very, very good thing. Okay. So all in all, I think we're looking good. So that is Sandbox for you. We'll go ahead and cover it again here soon. Thanks again so much for the requests. And of course, if you're not currently a community member, consider joining CryptoCache.tech. Is the website, link in the description below. I look forward to work with you. Have yourself a great rest of your day. We'll see you next one. Take care.